The side, the group, the party, the ideology, who for the past 10 years now, a decade, have been screaming, crying, lamenting about the death of democracy, are now celebrating the death of democracy. Charlie Kirk's assassination, no hyperbole, I think everyone is in agreement, will be and already is one of the most significant political moments in American history. His gruesome and disturbing assassination, which took place in public at an American university in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people, the majority being his fans, will become one of the most consequential deaths in modern American history, and will completely change the landscape of American society, culture, and politics. Charlie Kirk's assassination is a result of 10 years. One can say it was 10 years in the making, but his assassination is a result of 10 years of a leftist echo chamber and liberal media that has called anyone on the right wing of modern American politics, whether they be a politician, a political commentator, or a voter, a racist, a neo-Nazi, or a fascist. Charlie Kirk has now been made a martyr. I personally had my plethora of disagreements with Charlie Kirk's politics. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but I'm also not gay. I'm not an independent or libertarian, but I don't have to be any of those things to understand that this country will radically change as a result of this assassination. The change will be immediate and immense. The second Donald Trump came down the elevator in 2015, we, the American populace, were told that anyone on the right of Hillary Clinton is a racist and bigot and will bring about the end of America. In 2020, we again were told that anyone on the right of Joe Biden is an evil neo-Nazi and that they unknowingly will bring about a dictatorship built on lies and misinformation. In 2024, we were once again told that anyone on the right of Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was a fascist neo-Nazi and that democracy was on the line in this election. They got the last part right. Charlie Kirk died at the incredibly young age of 31, leaving behind a wife and 2 young daughters who are no older than 3 years old. Charlie was 18 years old when he founded Turning Point USA in 2012, and Charlie built a career off of open debate, having a dialogue with the other side, having respectful and intelligent conversations with political opponents in the marketplace of ideas. And he was brutally murdered for it. In fact, he was murdered while doing just that. Charlie Kirk became one of the most politically influential people in America and the preeminent conservative voice and commentator in America. I remember getting into politics in 2016, and at the time, it was Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder, and Ben Shapiro as the most popular figures of the online right. It was Turning Point USA, The Daily Wire, and PragerU as the most influential organizations of the online right. But Charlie Kirk surpassed them all. He and his organization became the most influential parts of conservative politics. Charlie made conservative politics popular and cool again among the youth, or anyone under 35 years of age. He became a juggernaut and was instrumental in Donald Trump's re-election. Now this may sound like a glazing session on Charlie Kirk, but it's not. Again, I had extreme disagreements with him. I really wasn't a fan, but that doesn't take away from the reality of what he was and what he accomplished. And all of this is to set up the overarching point of this video. Charlie Kirk was a moderate Republican who had moderate Republican takes. In Twitter political lingo, Charlie Kirk was a normie. He was a normie Republican who gave normie Republican takes on contemporary issues in modern America. Charlie Kirk was the furthest thing on the right wing from a fascist neo-Nazi. He gave mainstream Republican takes, ideas, talking points on mainstream political issues. Charlie Kirk was in no way radical. He was not extreme, nor was he on the fringes of the right-wing political landscape. He was a Republican conservative moderate, and with his assassination, the moderate position is now also dead.
The ironic thing about the people who are celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk is that they are the ones least prepared for and who will least enjoy where this is all going to lead. It's a phenomenon where the most bloodthirsty people in a given cohort are the ones who have the least exposure to violence, hardship, and death. They feel comfortable celebrating because someone else did their dirty work for them, and for the time being, they are safe and secure. But realistically, what do they think this accomplished? What do they think is going to happen next? Because however evil they think Charlie Kirk was, there are people far more extreme that are going to take his place and radicalize his audience. Charlie Kirk was, in the realm of politics, a fairly moderate and dare I say milquetoast figure who put enough faith in discussion and logic to debate anyone who was willing to disagree with him from both sides of the spectrum. If anything, he was a moderating force who tried to navigate the polarized world of today with restraint. He was immensely mainstream and well liked by people who by and large are normal, harmless, and well-to-do. He was no radically dangerous philosopher, warlord, terrorist, or politician. He was a regular guy who appealed to regular folk.
Leftists, liberals, and progressives in their world-altering echo chambers convince themselves that anybody who disagrees with them on any issue is evil and that they now must be put down. These people also claim to be the champions of democracy. Charlie Kirk was doing one of his usual turning point events, where he goes to a college campus and he has a sit-down one-on-one debate with anybody who disagrees with him on any issue. The left killed the guy. The left martyred the one guy. The guy, not only in right-wing politics, but in America, who made it his mission, who built his career off of talking and conversing with the other side. The guy who at 18 years old built an organization based off that idea. The guy who had debates with the biggest names and figures on the left. The guy who went to every state in the country, to universities big and small, to talk with people who disagreed with him. The guy who was the first one to do Jubilee's new and now popular debate format, going against popular online young liberals. The guy who went to Oxford to debate with people who disagree with him. The guy who went on Gavin Newsom's own show, and he was assassinated for that. People on the left, I'm just going to use that phrase to encompass leftists, liberals, and progressives. These people have no idea, no clue of the political landscape of this country. They truly have no idea what's going on if they think Charlie Kirk is the poster child, the leader of the far right. He's the furthest thing from the far right. Charlie Kirk has repeatedly, since Donald Trump's first term, has called the far right every single insult you can think of. He's criticized them, disavowed them, never even platformed anyone on the far right. For people on the left to think that Charlie Kirk is in any way ideologically aligned with guys like Richard Spencer or Nick Fuentes is an idiot.
What you guys don't know about Charlie Kirk is that he's banned people like NF from attending Turning Point events. Like, if you're right-wing, like actually right-wing, he would ban you. He was a pretty moderate guy. Banning people from attending.
The far right are some of the biggest critics of Charlie Kirk. They disagree with him on immigration. Charlie is pro-legal immigration. They disagree with him on Israel and American support of Israel. They disagree with him on many political, social, and cultural issues. People on the left didn't care a far-right fascist neo-Nazi. They brutalized a moderate Republican in front of hundreds of his own fans, while his own wife and children were there. The left signaled that they don't agree with democracy. They are against free speech. They don't believe in opposing viewpoints. This is what 10 years of social engineering gets us. 10 years is a long time. 10 years ago, I was in middle school. Now, I'm in my mid-20s. People are malleable, and with enough and constant manipulation, you can teach people that the opposing side is full of the worst of humanity. And in time, their actions will begin to reflect that. Eerily but correctly, Charlie Kirk pointed out the growing violence among the left, and unfortunately, it might get worse. They almost assassinated Donald Trump, off by a few centimeters. They almost assassinated Nick Fuentes in the aftermath of the 2024 election. They now assassinated Charlie Kirk in broad daylight. Now they're going to think, if they can get Charlie Kirk, they can get anyone. And by anyone, they mean anybody on the right of the political spectrum. Charlie Kirk was the last person to do this to. He went out of his way to talk with the other side, and in doing so became the most popular figurehead in conservative politics. And that's the thing, Charlie Kirk wasn't a politician. He didn't hold a governmental position of power. He didn't have political power. He wasn't a bureaucrat. All he was a political commentator, and he was assassinated for that. The worst part is that people on the left are celebrating. Don't go on Reddit, and don't go on Blue Sky, even though you already have, probably. TikTok is the worst of them.
We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck. Who's up next? We got Charlie in the neck.
You can literally make a 20-minute compilation video, probably longer, from one of the people celebrating his death. But what exactly are they celebrating? They see Charlie Kirk's assassination as a win, but it's anything but. What exactly did they win? Do they in their minds think Charlie Kirk's death ended the far right? Do they think that no one else will ever vote on the right ever again? No, they're completely wrong. If anything, Charlie Kirk's assassination changes America, but not in the way they hope. People have been comparing Charlie's assassination with Martin Luther King's because of the sudden cultural shock, but I think more aptly is a comparison to Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Do I think that Charlie's death is going to bring about World War III? No. The reason I compare Charlie's assassination to the Archduke's is because the political, cultural, and social ramifications that will come from it will be incomprehensible to the leftist mind. If they think Charlie Kirk is proto-Hitler, I literally saw a liberal argue on TikTok that Charlie's assassination is a good thing, and that it would be like going back in time and killing baby Hitler. Not only is that baby Hitler argument tired at this point, but the logic doesn't even follow. Charlie Kirk wasn't anywhere near that. But guess what? The left finally got what they wanted. They finally got their boogeyman they've been crying wolf about for the last 10 years. And the irony is that they might have just created him. Charlie Kirk's assassination and celebration of his death is a message. It's a message to anyone who disagrees with the left. Anybody that calls himself a conservative, that even if you try to talk with them, you're a free game. It's open season on you. And as a result of this, people on the right, naturally, are going to become more radical. And what do the left expect? They almost assassinated the Republican presidential candidate, and because of that, that candidate ended up winning the election. What do they think is going to happen now? You just pushed more people to the right, and yes, a lot of them to the far right. There is not one non-leftist who saw that horrific video of Charlie's assassination and the ensuing celebration on the left that said, oh wow, I think I'm going into liberal politics now. No, all those independents, centrists, they're now on the right. All those normie, moderate conservatives, you just pushed them to the far right. If the left thought Charlie Kirk was this evil mastermind, they certainly won't be able to handle what comes next. They won't be ready for it.
Now that Charlie Kirk is gone, who do you think young men are going to look towards for political advice in this country? Because they aren't going to go left. They're not going to get more tolerant. They're not going to see violence and think, we need more people who disagree with me in this country. They're going far right. They're going towards Nick Fuentes. They're going towards the Hodge twins, Myron, Candace Owens. They aren't going to get more tolerant.
I think this meme represents this situation perfectly. Charlie Kirk was a metaphorical Hoover Dam. He was a mainstream influencer commentator, giving takes that your Walmart cashier, your UPS driver probably had. But now he's dead, and now the floodgates are open, and now what they, the left, have been screaming about is now coming sooner rather than later. Charlie's assassination literally accelerated American politics from decades into one moment. Congrats, liberals, progressives, leftists. You finally got what you begged for. At the very least, this assassination created millions of new Republican voters, and that's at the very least. You can't start shooting figures on one side and expect that side not to become more radical. As the saying goes, sometimes there are weeks where decades happen. Pray for Charlie's wife and his 2 daughters.